Hey, hello everyone. Today, let us quickly see how you can host a static website using AWS services. So, in today's session, these are the services that we're going to consider, where we have Amazon's Route 53 to define the DNS, that's the purchase domain of yours, and storing all your website files in the S3 bucket. And coming further down, we have the Amazon CloudFront, which is the content delivery, where you would be able to redirect the HTTP kind of request to the HTTPS request once you purchase a certificate from AWS as well. Since we know the roadmap, how which services to use in order to deploy a static website, but before even that, I would always recommend people to go to the service quotas first, understand each services, what is the bandwidth of services that is allocated to your account, to your AWS account. For instance, let me just quickly go to AWS S3 and check what is my bandwidth in it. Okay, let us understand what is the available number of buckets we have at the moment with our account, and here if you see it says 100. So likewise you can go through each and every services to understand your quota. Okay, since we're done with identifying or understanding the service quotas, let us start with our activity by going into S3 bucket. For instance, I've already created my bucket name along with my domain name. If I have to quickly show, this is my domain name, which I have at the moment associated with the Freenom account. So in this case, I've just created as www.msaws.ga. When I get into the bucket, so I've just dragged and dropped all my folders, the HTML related stuffs and all the files in order to get my website running. So in this case, you can also see when I click CSS, you have other subfolders in it as well. So you have to ensure all this the relevant files of HTMLs are placed correctly, and you would also get the success message and ensure the success message is showed on the screen. If at all, if there are any failures in the file, then it's obvious you could not be able to see certain related dependency file or a CSS file which is associated with your HTML not working properly. So that is our primary step one. And step two, we shall go to permissions, and always ensure whenever you would like to expose your S3 bucket for hosting purposes like the website that I'm doing today, ensure this is turned off. Only then you would be able to access or enable or expose the S3 bucket related HTML files to the public, where they can use via IP in order to access your website. So this is very much important step that you'll have to follow. And lastly, before even going to next step, you also have to ensure all your files are made public. Even though we have given the permission as public, ensure these files, the other folders inside the folder also as made public. So ensure these two steps are done and followed properly. Only then you would be able to see your HTML page loading. So now let's get into properties and say we need to host our website, and I've just put my default index.html page where it gets, the moment I hit my IP or the DNS name, it has to target to this particular location, and that's where I've keyed in. And it's just simple, just put in your index or the first landing page where you'd like to have this S3 bucket launched, and that's what I've done. And meanwhile, if I have to quickly check whether my website is running, yes, it is running. And here if you see, it is with the AWS bucket name, and it's not secure since we have not yet bought a certificate and attached with our website. So for now it is working. We are good to go with the further steps. So since we have covered with S3, the second service, the step 2 would be configuring our Route 53, where we would be defining the defining and configuring our DNS or the domain name system that you have purchased from any of the service providers. In this case, I'm using Freenom. So let us get into Route 53. I've already created one hosted zone, which is this. When I click here, it further takes me to the domain that I'm already using. So if in order to create a new domain, just click on create hosted zone. If I have to show you again, so whichever domain name you have it, just type it in here, and you have further information to capture, say description. This is my first S3 bucket website hosting session. So this is just to understand what this particular domain is about. And further, if you see, we have two options. Would you like to use this domain publicly, where it can be accessed outside the world, which means that anyone across countries. And if you'd like, or you'd like to use this domain privately, like an intranet kind of facilities, then yes, you can feel free to choose to make it private. So in this case, since I'm hosting a website, I'm using as the mode as public, and you can just click on create hosted zones. So this would the moment you click there, it would create a record like this. So further on this, you click on the domain name. By default, we would have two records already created. One is the name servers, and we have start of authority, which is SOA. So this is the moment where we would have to map the name servers to the domain that you have purchased, and in order to do that, you click on the NS kind of type of record and click on edit. You see we have the name server information. All you have to do is just take a copy of it and open your notepad and paste it here as well, and ensure you remove the dots. And the moment you remove the dots, take each one of them and go to your domain, and you can find the place where you can define your custom name servers, and you start keying in here. So in this case, I have 4 name servers provided by AWS. I would just have to copy each one of them and paste it in the name server 1, followed by 2, 3 and 4, and click on change name servers, and the configuration of Route 53 from AWS to your domain is set now. So now so far we have completed 2 steps successfully, and let's move on to our third step, which is getting into the CloudFront. So click on CloudFront or find the services in the dashboard, or from the dashboard, say create distribution, and select the delivery method for your content. Let's say the web method, then click on get started. So in this case, your origin domain name, when you click here, it automatically shows. In this case, our Amazon S3 bucket is being used, and you can choose from your drop down. And the second step, part of CloudFront, is very important to ensure to say redirect HTTP to HTTPS. So that's where we're doing, right? We're purchasing a certificate and asking our website to be associated with the certificate and work or ping with HTTPS certificates. Then the step 3 more important step, which is defining the alternative domain names. So in this case, I'm keying in www.msaws.ga. That's my website name. And final step is to attach your SSL certificate. So when you click on here, and when I further click on my selection area, it already shows I have a certificate. But in order to request a new certificate, feel free to click on this button to obtain a certificate. And the moment you obtain a certificate, you should also add the certificate to the Route 53, where you have options to do it straight away. In this case, since I've already have my certificate, I would just select on it. And these 4 steps are very much important in order to make your website redirecting to HTTPS with the certificate. And now since I've already configured it, let me show you. This is how it looks after you save it and publish it. It should say deployed. and this is the ID which is been given. If I can further go here, understand all my information and my origin, say this was my domain where from the origin ID is from S3 bucket. We are redirecting from S3 to be used with our custom domain that we have defined in Route 53. So in order to define the configuration in Route 53 for the CloudFront to happen, we have to switch back to Route 53 again. After we are successfully configured and the status deployed is shown in CloudFront, we have to move to Cloud 53 and choose the same hosted zone that you're already working in. And further, let us get into our domain, which is our AWS. And since we know we have already created there's a standard 2 records already created, and this is my certificate which I have pulled in here after creating the certificates. And also, I part of my learning process, I did understand that sometimes you'll have to sign out the moment you generate a certificate and attach it to the Route 53. Takes some times to be seen in the CloudFront. In that case, the moment you create a certificate attached to Route 53, please sign out and again sign in back again. So that helps you to see the certificates in the CloudFront. So I've just observed that if that's not required, feel free to do without signing out. So since we have followed the process, we have the certificate attached. Now we'll have to create a record in order to attach our CloudFront. So this is slightly changed in the recent times. AWS is keep changing, has been keep working on the UI, which I can see every time they are upgrading, and that's really nice to see that. And in this case, let us stick to simple routing. Click on next and say define simple record, and put in the a prefix that you'd like to have, where you'd like to the CloudFront to be associated with. So I would always want it to be associated with www.msaws.ga, and choose the endpoint. In this case, I'm saying allies to CloudFront distribution, and since it's in this particular availability zone, if I drop down, it automatically reads all the CloudFront deployed instances or the sessions that are associated. So in this case, yes, this is my CloudFront session I would like to associate. So if everything is okay, you just click on define simple record. In this case, since I've already done, let me show you how it looks so that you have a fair idea. So this is the record that's created already. So it's the same what we have just done there. It comes and occurs as a record here. We have to ensure this is done. So once we have these two basic records, and we have the certificate record here, and the final step is to associate with the CloudFront record. Once this is all done, which means that your configuration is ready, now you should be able to see your website running with HTTPS. Let me now go to www.msaws.ga, and let us check whether it comes with our HTTPS certificate. So yes, we have now successfully launched our website with the HTTPS and the certificate here as well. If you see, the connection is secure, and you can check the certificate. It is from MSAWS, and this is where we know that we have successfully launched our instance, that is hosting our website through S3 bucket, routing it through, or identifying or associating our DNS with Route 53, and using the CloudFront to deliver our content. And I think these steps helps you, and helps you also to understand and also have hands-on, so that you'd also be familiar and get the relevant expected results if you wish to host your website through S3. If you do like this video, please share your comments, like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.